Nithyananda, this is Ma Chitambara. So I wanted to make a video today on a topic which has come up, and I mean it comes up quite a lot. So I have a lot of people that come for completion sessions and healing sessions, and one of the deepest pains and sufferings they carry and they're seeking release from is that of sexual abuse. So this video will be just a video sharing on a technique for healing, which lies in my beloved Guru's book. So my beloved Guru, His Divine Holiness Bhagawan Nithyananda Paramashivam. So book is not the right word. So this is more of a, I would say, goddess. So I use the word goddess instead of book because a normal book, usually you read from cover to cover, you go through certain chapters and you read it in like a sequence. But with this book, it's not like that at all. So Living Enlightenment is known for its ability to answer your questions. So basically what you would do when you have any kind of a question, and this has worked so many times for me, I cannot even express how many times this book has helped me and specifically given me real-time solutions and answers to questions that I'm deeply seeking within myself. So basically you hold the book and you just kind of close your eyes and hold the question in your inner space, and then you open it to any random page, and whatever your eyes land on, that will be the solution that you will be looking for. So I actually had a healing session with someone today, and this topic of abuse came up. Now this technique comes from Swamiji, and whatever techniques Swamiji gives, he doesn't make them up from the top of his head. So Swamiji is very much firm in standing up for the Shastra Pramana in Hinduism. So whether we are practicing yoga, doing any pranayama, or doing any panchakriyas in the morning, our puja rituals, anything that we do, any of the knowledge which he gives us all comes from the agamas, it all comes from ancient Hindu scriptures. So they all have references. So this particular technique I've used myself, and I've often given to people who suffer with an inability to express themselves. So this is something that has been very difficult for me in my entire journey. Especially when faced with any confrontation, it's just a product of my conditioning and how I was raised as a kid and how my parents were. I never had an avenue of expressing myself. I was more obedient and was basically rewarded when I was a good girl, and if I ever tried to rebel or speak up for myself, that was never taken positively in the household. So I learned to kind of shrink away from situations, and rather than expressing myself powerfully, I wouldn't give myself a voice, and then that would kind of stew inside of me as guilt or anger or hatred towards myself, because I never felt empowered. I felt violated, and I felt that someone was dominating me, and it was just never a powerful way of living. And as a result, even in my adulthood, I found it difficult to share my views and opinions, and obviously very difficult to stand up for myself when I felt that I should, or that I didn't even feel that I could. It was a possibility. So one of the healing techniques which I've done myself and I've given to people to practice on is where we have faced situations in life where we weren't able to express ourselves in a confrontation, where someone was bullying us or where they were dominating us, and we just kept quiet or allowed ourselves to be, I suppose the term is, to be walked on. A way to heal that part is to write down all of the things that you wish you could have said in that situation. So relive that situation, and reliving isn't remembering, it's actually going through the same kind of emotions, the same thought currents, everything that you would have gone through initially in that situation, reliving it. So reliving it and then writing down all of the things that you wish you could have said. So if it was very confrontational, if you wish you could have kicked and screamed and yelled out and done anything that you felt was authentic to yourself, but you stopped yourself from being authentic in that situation, this is an avenue to find your authentic expression. So I'll read to you the passage of Living Enlightenment, which with regards to dealing and healing sexual abuse. So bear with me, it's not long, but I want to read exactly what Swamiji has said here. So this part of Living Enlightenment has to do with guilt. So sexual abuse and the feeling of guilt that results in it. Guilt is the sure killer of intelligence. According to me, guilt is the worst killer of intelligence. It will never let you move in your life. Once, one of our devotees had a tumor at the base of her spinal cord. For 20 years, she suffered with the tumor. She came to me complaining, "Please help me, heal me. I am suffering with this tumor for so many years. After undergoing surgery, it has reappeared." I started talking to her slowly to trace the origin of the problem. I asked her a few questions, at the end of which she finally opened up and started weeping. I asked her, "Do you have any guilt related to your sex energy?" She slowly opened up. She said she was physically abused when she was very young. One of her close relatives had abused her for many years. That guilt stayed with her. She said, "I started hating that part of my body. I started feeling that part of the body should not exist in me. I felt that part of my body was not my being. My hatred towards that person turned towards my own body." Her hatred was so deep, I continued speaking to her. Slowly, she opened up more and more. When she brought the guilt out, she came out of the guilt. She was psychologically healed. I gave her a small meditation technique to meditate on that area. And now this is the actual technique. I told her, "Express your anger towards that man. Weep, shout, cry, hit. Close the doors, take a pillow. Imagine that it is him and show your anger. Imagine that it is him and show your anger on it. After that, sit silently and feel that part of your body also as your own. Feel love towards that part of the body. You will be surprised that in just 10 days, the tumor disappeared. It never recurred." So that's the passage from Living Enlightenment, and that's the healing technique for healing any sexual abuse. So I know it sounds very simple and quite straightforward, but I can attest to how this technique heals any part of disconnect that we have within ourselves. So I myself have used it to empower myself with, there's certain stereotypes of authority figures which relates to my father, my Purvashram father, before ashram father. So that would always leave me frozen and powerless and not able to express myself, how I feel I'm powerfully authentic to myself. That suppression and not having a voice, not knowing what to do in a situation like that has been a very long journey, but it's helped not only heal myself, and of course it's a journey to find my strength and find my voice. It's also helped other family members which have also struggled with the same kind of a pattern within themselves. So any disconnect with any part of you. So for me, it's related to my voice, not being able to authentically speak up. it could relate to any part of you which has been abused, or some part of you which you are not able to accept. This technique works. So I welcome you to try it. And like Swamiji said, within 10 days, this was healed in this person. And for me, the result was immediate. I could see that once I released that suppressed part, and actually I'll share this also with you, one part of the technique which also helped me for those that maybe are looking for finding their authenticity in speaking up for themselves. One thing that you can also do, which is an exercise that we practice a lot in Inner Awakening and even in the ashram, in the Adinam, is looking at your inner image and your outer image. So your inner image is how you feel about yourself. So these can be good or bad. It could be ideas that you carry about yourself, such as you are patient, or you are a coward, that you are very loving, or that you are very impatient. So whatever it is that you have in your inner image is what you believe is the core of you. Then your outer image will be that which you express to others or you show as others. And often they won't match up, which shows our inauthenticity. So for example, if you feel inside that you are a coward, more often than not, you'll be expressing your outer image as someone who's brave. You won't be showing that you're cowardly. You may be shy, but you'll have a bit more gusto on the outside when you're relating with people. So where there's a gap between your inner image and your outer image is where you should be looking in and seeing, why are you not being authentic to yourself? So you should either raise yourself to your outer image so that you're really matching that. And if you can fake it on the outside, then you really have the ability to live it. It's just your doubt within yourself. Or if you really, really believe that you are a coward, then you should have that authenticity to let others know that's who you are. And don't have any fear of being judged, and allow yourself and others to accept you for who you are. So like I said, I welcome everyone to try this particular technique, and I'll leave the reference. So for those that have this Living Enlightenment book, or whoever can get a copy of it, this is on page 108 of this blue book. So any questions that you have about any further meditation techniques, or even if you want to share your experiences, you're more than welcome to, and I can make further videos on similar topics in the future if you just let me know. So thank you, and until next time, Nithyananda.